Let's start with the objectives of this tutorial. Destructive interference of wave example is a more straightforward way to understand the concept in the easier way possible. When we take certain actual life events into consideration, we end up learning the concept in an easy way. Destructive interference of wave examples has a direct influence on the learning process of such concepts. Here are few destructive interference of wave examples are: gravitational wave, radio wave, automobile muffler, speaker waves, musical instruments. Gravitational wave. Gravitational waves have two different kinds, and they are gravitational solid weak gravitational waves. Here in this condition, only the weak gravitational force will be considered to interact with each other waves. When two waves mix or go hand in hand with each other, then there will be a specific process occurring. The process mainly depends on how the two waves interfere with each other. If the amplitude of the wave seems to be the same, then the resultant wave is said to be a destructive interfered wave. When the crest of one wave meets the top node that is the crest of another wave, we get a resultant wave. This happens when the waves meet up with each other in the exact location. When the end wave is larger than the individual wave, we call it destructive interference. There is also another question saying, what if the higher wave meets the weaker wave? They generally act like the water wave in mechanical terms. When we know that two waves are interfering with one another, there will definitely be a result in terms of destruction. The weaker wave of gravitational force is basically like one of the light and the sound waves. In this wave, there is energy present, as in there will also be mass in the wave, so when one strong wave pulls another weak wave, there are chances for a black hole scenario. The wave of gravitational is that they will travel at different speeds in different locations. So finding the frame is a little tricky. Hence, this is how the destructive interference comes into action. When two different waves travel, and when they interfere with each other due to the amplitude values, they will cancel out each other. This is the reason behind the destructive interference occurring with waves in contact with one another. Radio wave. The radio wave is one of the electromagnetic waves that have a lower frequency. The radio wave will come under the destructive interference of wave example. There will be destructive interference happening within. Radio waves are generally used for transmission and primarily for sound waves. In specific devices, radio waves are being used since they are the lightest wave and can be received quickly. Radars are setups that mainly use radio waves in order to transmit and receive signals. When the signals have been transmitted in terms of waves, there are chances for them to interfere with one another. When such a thing happens, the waves merge and are large or merge and be small, depending upon the amplitude of the individual waves. The radio waves have the wavelength that is available in the electromagnetic spectrum. These waves are used in radios because the waves are helpful in transmitting and receiving signals in an easy way that the waves can be detected instantly. While the waves are being transmitted, they will undoubtedly interfere with each other. When the waves interfere with the crest of the wave and the trough of another wave, then there is said to be destructive interference. The resultant wave is more significant if only the interference is constructive, but if the wave is minimal compared to the individual wave, then they are said to be destructive interference. So radio waves will come under destructive interference of wave example. Automobile muffler. The automobile muffler is attached to any vehicle because they are termed as the noise canceller in vehicles. The mufflers are run by the concept of destructive interference. The waves traveling in the same medium and in the exact location will cancel out on each other because of the different amplitudes. The muffler is nothing but a silencer called in the local term. What happens in the muffler is that the gases let out by the vehicle will be internally combusted using the internal combustion mechanism. The airborne noise in the vehicle is usually reduced by the combustion method, and the muffler is used to lessen the process. The waves present in the process will cancel out each other. The cancellation of the waves is mainly due to the ends of opposite sides meeting one another. The crest of one wave, that is, the top node of the wave, meets the trough of another wave, that is the bottom node of the wave. So the crest and trough of two waves meeting one another will eventually cancel out each other. The resultant wave will be a wave with a smaller amplitude. The muffler is basically one of the sound destructive interference of wave examples. Speaker waves. Say there are two speakers kept in a vast hall, so when the music is turned on, if the sounds coming from the speakers do not match, then we call it as destructive interference of wave example. The speakers mainly deal with the sound waves in general. The waves in the speaker travel as sound, and when they cancel out on each other, it is termed destructive interference. The amplifier also contributes in some way to cancel out the wave. The sound is amplified, and when it reaches the speaker, so the sound waves play a significant role in delivering the music to the listeners. The destructive interference is the one where the waves having different phase differences will negate each other. Therefore we get a wave as a result where the amplitude is much smaller than the individual one. The speaker must be connected to the amplifiers for a better result, as it will deliver a much better sound of music. So the destructive interference of waves will be there in speakers that deliver different sounds with different frequencies. Musical instruments. The guitar comes under the category of musical instruments, which has mainly sound waves connected with each other. Mainly flute deals with the sound waves by itself without the aid of the secondary instrument. So all kinds of musical instruments come under destructive interference of wave examples. The waves often tend to interfere with each other in the process of transmitting the sound signal to the surroundings. In guitars, the waves travel in such a way that they often interfere and be destructive or constructive. So tuning in guitars is essential so that when they are heard through the speaker, the sounds are in phase with each other. The destructive interference is due to the negation of two waves when they encounter each other in the same medium and at the exact location. Hence in such cases, it is normal to have waves being interfered with. Please visit our website lambdageeks.com for more articles on technology, engineering, mathematics, and various other domains. Scientific calculator and many more other tools.